live in the US, so we're going to be held to the laws of the US. And I think for now, we want to make sure that we grow the current product that we have in security instead of, endangering it with, being classified as security. So I think for now, we're going to be moving into vertical products that support Teller itself. Um, and even like Chorus, we don't actually, maybe in the future, we might issue something with Chorus, but we actually want other people to be able to use Chorus, not just us running, this, just us creating tokens, collateralized tokens for something. Maybe in the future, yeah, we could do something even for the team, or we could do something that we really want to support as a community. But for now, we just want to provide the tools so that people are able to use them and grow Teller with them. Um, Derivatives, they're a hard one for the US, I think.
Let's start from the basics, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's I mean, like the Oracle thing. We were like, we had an idea that we really clearly were like, aha, we think this is a really small but important. It was a big problem, but like, it's much more. It's not as big and broad as derivatives. But we could, we could solve it. We could launch it in a short amount of time, and that's kind of our style. And so, if something occurs to us in the derivatives market like that, this is something we could really do a derivatives protocol the way we believe they should be done, then we would do it. Any thoughts on the lack of TRB market reaction? Um,
I don't quite understand this one.
I think
What
to
do
the
you?
core, he might be asking to the chorus announcement. Um, I think we didn't intend this to be a big splash necessarily, and I think that the market hasn't really heard about it yet. But again, our intention wasn't this to be like some big pump. Uh, this is just something we want to share to you guys. It's going to be growing over the next couple months and
Mhm.
throughout this year.
Yeah.
Uh, in terms of what TRB holders can expect in terms of rewards from Chorus, when Justin Sun joined the team. Justin Sun's been on the team from the beginning, Alari. He's just the silent guy in the background. We don't ever show his face. Um, so if Chorus becomes popular, it stands to reason that TRB holders could benefit from it because it's a user of, just like any user of Teller is a good thing for the TRB,
Because
use case and for our community in general. And so that's the reward. If you're holding TRB, you get the rewards of holding something that's being used for a good purpose, like Chorus. And so, and that's our mission, is just to get TRB used. Let me go to the other forum. We got 10 more questions here. Will there be an easy to use UI on Chorus? Yes, that's our big goal with Chorus, is to have a really awesome user experience. It's really important for this to be for it to be really easy to use.
80% of my time in the next whatever time it takes.
thank
Yes.
you, Cassie.
Well, let me ask this one. So how does the team split effort on Chorus and Teller? Looks like a daunting task for both. That was one question. So, Crossy?
I think I already answered 80%. I have written the contract, took me a long time. I'm still delegating some things for Teliat. We need to continue the development for Teliat, which is responsible for submitting the values. So now that the team is bigger, I will work with Ben on the front end. We'll continue creating bounties. We'll close issues. We'll continue on Teliat, and in the same time. But yeah, I would say 80%. I will move all of my focus on Chorus. So I would
Yep.
say, like I said, 80%.
And one of our hires, Ben, our most recent hire, one of the big things we had in mind with bringing him on was that he was going to get started on Chorus right away. That's his first big project. He designed the brand and put up the website, and then he'll be moving into designing the front end elements and working with Crossy. And
we deployed the website 30 minutes before the announcement, just right
yes,
on time, right?
pretty amazing. Um,
And for
Nice.
Teller, I mean, for Teller, we're always, trying to improve it itself. I know we just put out 2.6 will be updated today, and I'm sure we'll be working on some things for 3.0 and maybe in the future, making sure that we move on to other chains and, whatever happens in Ethereum and wherever the users are going, that's where we're going to be trying to go.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be, a good mix of both. For Teller itself, it's mostly Solidity work, and for that, Nick, JG, and me usually do Solidity work. So I think we'll be fine for now with our current workload. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And the focus, of course, is going to stay mainly on Teller, but like you were saying, Brenda, we have people that can of course, could be a large portion of their focus
Mhm.
without taking anything away from the amount of work that we've been doing on Teller. So,
And
and of
hopefully the Tellor Oracle doesn't need any more work. That means we've done the job properly, right?
hmm
Yeah.
yep. And then it's about it's about expanding the use case for Teller and expanding business development, expanding verticals and things like that. Um, and this would be a good problem to have. Of course, takes off, or if we do another vertical product, or we get a ton more users, or whatever it is, like then the team has to grow, and you would think that hopefully the value of our dev share rises with the demand, so that we have the funds to grow and expand the team, which has been the case so far, and we expect that to be the case in the future. What is the plan to attract users for Chorus? Um, we're going to be talking to people. We're going to be sharing it, and just like with Teller, um, it's just about engaging with people and having those conversations.
Mhm.
We I think with Chorus, we think that we need to start small. We're going to start with getting some notes used in our own community, and trying to do a couple um, pilots with another community. So we're looking for like a good maybe one, two, or three pilot communities that'll be like a great first test space for it. When we launch it, we have an initial partner, if you want to use that word, but some community that is willing to give it a try and learn from it.
And definitely the interface. I mean, we're going to do anything that we can for the interface to be super easy for even non-technical people to be able to deploy this and use this. We'll also be doing some tutorials in the future, making sure that they understand the levers of the anthem. And yeah, that's how we plan getting users. So
How does the token economy look like for Chorus? Um,
um,
it's a user generated economy. It's a customized, so basically uh, just a quick overview, you would deposit your collateral, the community would be, whether it's an individual running the community or a DAO or whatever, they get to decide. There's these customizable variables that we talk about in the white paper, and we'll go into a much more of a deep dive next week about those customizable variables. But those sort of indicate this sort of token economy of the system:
mhm.
the collateralization ratio, the inflation rate, the amount that you're issuing, all of that. A lot of these are just ones that we've covered, like what is a semi-stable coin, what is Chorus, what are its use cases? We've covered that. When new partnerships and Coinbase listing. Thank you. Hillary from Finland.
How does that work? Do we need to contact them or they contact us?
With the Coinbase listing?
Yeah, maybe
So
Hillary
in
can
any
lead us.
listing,
Hillary from Finland. He can
Hillary,
lead us.
yes, favorite. Um, so it's usually there's some representative from the exchange will reach out to you, uh, and they want to negotiate some sort of fee for getting listed. And then
So
there's
if anybody has contacts, we're waiting, right?
You're really
So
quiet
if anybody has contacts, we're waiting.
with Coinbase.
Still in the community. If anybody has contacts, by all means, reach out to Coinbase. We're waiting on them. So yes, reach out to Coinbase.
We have
Ask
contacts
them
with
when they're
everybody.
gonna have us there. Huh?
We have contacts with everybody. We have contacts with every exchange that you could possibly imagine, and you know, we were in discussions with the ones that we need to be in discussions with, and you know, just like with the Binance listing, you know, these things we can't really talk about ahead of time. They take a while. We don't pay for listing. We don't pay a listing fee because they're ridiculous, and we don't necessarily need it. We have plenty of liquidity. People aren't having any problem buying and selling it. And there's due diligence on the part of the part of the exchange that they have to go through their own legal process to make sure it works for them. And each project's a different scenario, and it takes some time. But stay tuned.
Yeah, and also there's nothing more powerful than demand. So if you guys are really interested in seeing TRB on Coinbase, there is nothing more powerful than demand. We do upgrades to Tellor because of demand, because of users, because of people that we're talking to in the background. Yep. So if you really want it there, please, by all means, ask for it.
That's a very good point, yeah.
Yeah, tweet at them. I'm sure you guys are, because I see it every once in a while. Especially back in the day when we weren't listed on Binance, I always saw there was a few of you that were just constantly tweeting at CZ, win TRB. So, you know, I don't want to say that was the reason why we got listed on Binance, but you know, I'm sure it helps. And new partnerships, of course, we have. We think that you know, we think that they're coming imminently, but you know, we just again we even tell the people that we're working with around these things that we don't want to make any announcements before we actually have working code. And it's just sort of a policy that we have, and it takes some time. I know we repeat ourselves all the time, but hang in there. When to upgrade 2.6 should be after this call, right?
Yes. After this call, I will run a function and we'll monitor it, and it should be all fine because we already tested it on Ricobee. So, but I'm still gonna sit here and watch it switch. So, yeah. And we'll announce it. You guys are.
I always forget. Is it 1 week after the voting is started?
Yeah, okay. And it started last Tuesday morning.
Yep. Okay, so last question was, does the v2.6 update make the mining more competitive as it's based on the 4th slot? And when will it be implemented? So today. And yes, this should help reduce the monopolization that is occurring, in short. So
more competitive, in other words, more fair, right?
Yes, more fair and open is, I think, what we said, and we think that it'll prove to be true. So, Vmail, who asked that question, go ahead, and if you're not already in the mining Discord or on our Discord, that's where like most of the mining conversation is taking place. So we'd love to have you, and you can be there this week as you see how v2.6 how it goes when it's live. So that's it. That's all the questions. Thanks, everyone. Of course, we're going to be as active as always this week, answering more questions as people hear more about Chorus. So ask away, continue to read the white paper, wrap your head around it, get involved, and stay tuned for next week's deep dive.
So. Thank you for voting, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.